This conference will now be recorded.
So you have absolutely nothing to do with all those. Right? So are you all able to view my screen? Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good. Good. So it's pretty much important to understand the structure, where we stand and where we are actually progressing, what exactly we want to do in this course, right? That's always important. And what we are currently discussing gives you a standpoint to understand what you're currently doing. So you all know, like, our course is all about PaaS, which is offered by Salesforce.com, right? So what is the name of this PaaS? Can anyone come up with that?
Platform as a service.
No. PaaS stands for Platform as a Service, but Salesforce actually is offering a PaaS, right? Or let's move just one step back and discuss. Whenever you speak of cloud computing, we have three services: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, right? So what does IaaS stand for?
Infrastructure as a service.
Infrastructure as a service.
What does PaaS stand for?
Platform as a service.
Good. And what does SaaS stand for?
Software as a service.
There is another name given to SaaS. What is that?
Application.
Oh, we also call it
Sir,
any software that which we use is actually an application. Yes, someone prompted.
Sir, screen is not visible for me, sir.
Sorry,
Screen is not visible for me, sir.
it can't happen like it is visible for one and not visible for others. You check the window in which you are, then it will be visible, right? Like this.
Sorry, sir.
You just check like in which window you are. It is not possible like one person is seeing, another person can't see the screen. I hope everyone can see the screen, right?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Manjunath, better check in which window you are navigating.
Yes, sir. Yes. Visible, sir.
Visible. Good, good. Yeah. So now you can see the text which I have written, right? So whenever you say software or application, from our standpoint of view, from end user point of view, it's actually the same. Fine. Now Salesforce is one vendor which gives all these services. Right? Salesforce is one vendor which gives you all these services. So do you have any other vendors who give you these services? Can anyone tell me? Do you have any other vendors?
Amazon.
Okay, you have Amazon.
Amazon.
Good, good. Anyone else?
Google.
Google. Good, good. Anyone else?
Microsoft.
Good, good. Microsoft. Then
Oracle.
Oracle. Then you have someone called IBM, and you have a company called ETC. What is ETC? Where is this company ETC? Fine, etc. There are hundreds of big small vendors who give these services, right? Few amongst us we are actually familiar, but there are hundreds and hundreds of vendors who give the cloud computing services, right? And our area of interest, or our vendor with whom we are concerned now, is Salesforce, right? So Salesforce is one vendor who gives your cloud computing services. And what is our course all about? What is our course all about? Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer. Yeah. Anyone else? Neelam? Anyone else? Anyone else? Dheeraj, what is our course all about? It's very strange, right?
Cloud computing, CRM, it's basically CRM, right?
CRM. No, this is the funny thing what happens. We are long way into our journey, but we don't know where we are actually heading towards.
Development.
If I understand, if someone asks you, what did you have for lunch? Will you say restaurant? I had
Wait, are you
restaurant.
asking the type of cloud, sir?
What is our course all about?
Salesforce.
Cloud computing,
Good. So that is what I'm saying. If someone asks you
CRM?
what you have for your lunch, will you say I had restaurant?
Salesforce. It's
There is practically nothing called as a course called cloud computing. Cloud computing is a concept, fine, which it is implemented. Fine. You just can't see IFC cloud computing here. It is not possible. Cloud computing is a concept which gets implemented. So cloud computing cannot be your course. Fine. Now coming to the next point. There are, now you mentioned Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, Salesforce. All these are companies, which implement this functionality called cloud computing. Fine. Or this concept called cloud computing is implemented by them. Fine. If someone asks you which mobile phone do you use, fine, will you say cell phone? All right, you either say use a Nokia phone or use a Samsung phone or an Oppo phone or an Apple phone. You use a Samsung phone, you use an LG phone. So now these are all companies which manufacture mobile phones. Fine. So the concept is of mobile phone, and these are the companies which manufacture the mobile phone. Same way, cloud computing is a concept, and Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, Salesforce, and hundreds of others are companies which actually implement this concept. Now coming to our course. Is Salesforce a company name or is Salesforce a course name? What is it?
Company.
Company name.
So if
Force
someone asks you, what did you have for lunch? Will you say, I had paradise, I had KFC, I had Santosh Dada? All right. So again, these are just names of hotels and restaurants. That can't be your food. So your course cannot be Amazon, your course cannot be Google, your course cannot be Microsoft. Same way your course cannot be Salesforce. Then what is that we are trying to learn in the course? What is that we are trying to learn?
force.com.
Okay, good. We are actually trying to learn how to use the PaaS of Salesforce.com. Salesforce offers IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, and our course focuses on how to use the PaaS of Salesforce.com. Fine. And what is the name of this PaaS? What is the name of?
Force.com.
Force.com.
Good. Earlier it was called as Force.com. No longer it is known as Force.com. Still the name is
Lightning.
valid. We don't deny it. Good. Now it is
Lightning.
called as Lightning Platform. It is actually known as Lightning Platform. So either ways it is same. You still refer into the documentation. They don't change it into Lightning Platform. The new concepts are only considered as Lightning Platform, but the core concepts of Salesforce PaaS are always treated as Force.com. So it is still valid, but make sure when you speak, you say Lightning Platform. Don't use the word Force.com. Only when you refer to the inner concepts, we use that word Force.com. Fine. So our course is all about learning this Lightning Platform. And what is there to learn in this Lightning Platform? What is that we have to do with that Lightning Platform? What is there to do? So what we are trying to learn is using this Lightning platform or the traditional force.com platform, we are learning how to build applications. What kind of applications? What kind of applications we are going to build? We are going to build enterprise apps. We are going to build integration apps. Fine. And we are going to build CRM apps. So this is the course all about. Fine. This comes in the very intro part of your demo, so definitely gets erased and evaporated. It's part and parcel of human life. But now at least get this point. So the course is all about how to build enterprise applications or integration applications or CRM applications on the platform of Salesforce, which is either you call it as a Lightning platform or you call it as the Force.com platform. So this is the course all about. Clear? All have paid money, but they don't know for what they have paid the money. Very nice. Good, but happens. Nice. Good. So on one side, now you started with something called as configuration. Most of you all have completed configuration. So what is this configuration all about? Using this configuration, fine, you learned something about apps, tabs, as objects, fields, relationships, learned about validation tools. Then you've also learned about different types of layouts, and we have learned about something called record types. So these are the concepts which you have learned, and all these concepts you have understood in terms of CRUD. That means you know how to create them, you know how to read them, you know how to edit them, and you know how to delete them. Or your UD, you can use it as even undelete them also. Fine. So this is something what you have actually done. Fine. So I hope everyone is by far familiar with all these concepts. So the configuration, the apps, tabs part and all. Anyone who doesn't know these? Yeah. Any lucky person? If you don't know the last few also doesn't matter. If you only know the apps, what is apps, how to create apps, that is good enough. Good enough to start with the next part of our course. Fine. On the other side, few people have also started with something called development. The basic difference is both are actually same. We all have some requirements to be implemented. Certain requirements you can definitely implement it with the something called as the GUI part. GUI is actually your point and click, or you call it as drag and drop. So either with point and click or drag and drop mechanism, you build the requirements, and that is by far fine. But something which you cannot do it with your point and click and drag and drop, that is where we actually enter into either you call it as coding or you call it as a scripting. That is why you actually have your development. So we have nothing to stop in that concept. And once all this is ready, you enter into something called testing. So whatever you have done in configuration, so your config plus your dev both had to fulfill some requirements, isn't it? It was to fulfill some requirement. Either you do it in GUI mode or scripting mode. Your client doesn't know all those things. Your client only wants the result. So is that all achieved or not? Then you do it in your testing. And once everything is ready and you give it to your client, this is where admin comes into the picture and it starts monitoring the performance or the workability of your application. So he is the one who checks everything, whether it's working perfect or not. That's the admin. So these are the 4 modules that which you have in the course. So which in short you put it as config, development, testing, and administration. So these are the basic things that which you do. Your testing is also done through coding. Your admin is all again GUI. So two are in GUI mode, two are in testing mode. This is what you do irrespective, irrespective whether you are in, I'll just put it in a table so it becomes easy to understand. So this is how it works for us. Config, development, then you have your testing, then you have your admin. Now this could be for your enterprise applications. This could be for your integration applications, and the same is applicable for CRM. The same is also applicable for your CRM. So the points are same. Which kind of app you're trying to work with actually doesn't matter. So now we have started with the enterprise applications, so doing all these. Now we would be starting with something called as CRM. So we would now try to understand what is the CRM, and again in CRM you would anyways have config, development, testing, and administration. So because you are familiar with certain concepts of Salesforce, now it becomes easy to understand this CRM. Right? So let's try to start working with this CRM part, and let's try to understand what exactly is this CRM. Fine. We'll slightly make it interactive so that you get connected with the session. But if multiple people speak, again, it's difficult to listen and understand. So let's give chance to everyone. So forget that now you're actually learning some course called Salesforce. You are in the outside world. Fine, you're completely in the outside world. You're trying to view everything. You're an open-minded person. You see everything in the world the way it is. Fine. So based on that, now let us try to answer some questions. Can you help me out with some of the uh, companies or industries that which you see in the world? What are the various industries or sectors or domains you have seen in your day-to-day life, in your life?
Finance,
I
pharmacy,
want, okay, pharmacy, nice.
finance,
Others,
E-commerce.
Insurance.
e-commerce, okay, good. Insurance, good, good. Any other industries that which you have seen?
Healthcare.
Yeah, yeah. The screen is pretty much visible, right?
Yes.
IT sector, manufacturing sector.
Okay, okay, good.
Banking
Pharmacy.
sector.
Pharmacy.
Pharma is already answered. Pharma is already answered. Yeah, yeah. So you have the financial sector, right? Financial industry. So have your PayPal, your Paytm, your banks, your Western Unions, all these things. Fine. Familiar with this? Do you see this in the real world?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
whether they care or tear, we don't consider it, but still it is considered as healthcare, right? You have it. Good. Your hospitals and all this come into this healthcare. Good. Familiar with something called life sciences?
Yes.
A lot of things go in this area. This is one of the emerging thing. Without this, now life is completely impossible for us. What is that?
Communication.
communication,
You have these
communication,
industries. You have communication-based industries.
Like media.
Yeah, good.
Telecom industry.
Telecom.
Yeah, telecom industry. Good. Familiar with this retail?
Yes.
Have you been to
Everyone.
malls, supermarkets? Everyone, right? So that's all retail industry. Much booming these days, right? Then you have your media industry, you have your newspapers, you have your radio, your television, and most dangerous, you have something called social media. Fine, so you have all these. These are again different industries. One of the biggest industry, what is it? The government, the law, the tax, the tourism, the municipal, whatever you have, entire part of the government is actually a very big industry. Then an industry we basically think we don't belong to, but we actually belong to. What is that?
Education.
Right from past 20 years odd of life, we belong to this industry, but we never felt like we belong to this industry. Right? You know, there is another industry to which actually we don't belong, but we feel we are pretty much part of that industry. Can you name that?
Film
Sorry.
industry.
Yeah, entertainment.
Entertainment.
You are nowhere part of it, but you feel you're actually part of it. And one industry you're actually part of it, but you never feel you're a part of it. Very strange. Good. Familiar with this industry? Automobiles?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
A lot of things come in this automobile. Good. Familiar with this industry? Transportation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much essential part of our life, right? I've only picked out those which are pretty much essential part and with which we are contact in day to day. Fine. And something which though a bit far off, like but few have actually mentioned it. You have manufacturing, pharma, chemical, agriculture, your entertainment, and all these things come. Fine. So there are hundreds of industries and sectors, right? If you sit and pinpoint, start checking each and everything. Now there's an industry for electrical, there's an industry for mechanical, so there's an industry for so many things. For each thing you have an industry. Everything actually comes from an industry. Fine. You take the furniture on which you're sitting, that's actually belonging to some industry. You take the floor, the tiles on which you stand, that actually belongs to some other industry. So everything, the electricity, the switches that which you use, everything whatever you see actually belongs to some industry or the other. So this way there are hundreds and hundreds of industries and sectors. Fine. And all these industries and sectors, they all have some departments in them. Do you agree with that? All these
Yes.
industries, yeah, isn't it? Proper, operations and all, they are split into respective departments. Otherwise, there's a lot of chaos when you work. So to avoid that, everything is properly split into regular streamlined departments. So can you all name some departments? Can you all mention some departments? Departments of any industry,
Sales department.
Education.
Okay, good. Guys always start with HR, which is nice.
Sales HR.
Nice. HR, is always good to have also. Nice, glamorous department. It gives a lot of
Finance.
motivation to go to the office also.
Finance department.
Good. Yeah, so we have something called marketing. Can you see on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Ads, everything. What is all that actually? It's all marketing, right? They try to grab the awareness of people. They try to get into the lives of the people. So it's so much, everything around us, every movement, it is all about marketing. Fine. Familiar with this industry?
Yes.
Without
Yes, sir.
this, you can't own anything, isn't it? Without sales, we can't own anything, right? So every industry definitely has a department called sales, right? Then this glamorous department always comes. Very nice department. I'm happy with this department. Then next you have most important finance department. Every industry requires a finance department. If they're not tracking their finance department, then no longer the company would flourish, right? So you have the finance department. Any other departments which you people can now name? Yeah. The basic departments have been now
Service.
covered. Yeah, good. So we have something called logistics also, right? You store your goods somewhere, things have to be moved from one place to another. You have to stay somewhere, move around. So all that comes under logistics, right? Most of the industries are driven through technology, isn't it? There is a certain upgradation in any industry that which we take, and that generally happens because of there is an emerge, or there is something which is emerging in always in the technology area. So technology is always part of an industry. Whether that specific company adopts it or not is a different issue altogether, but every industry is always connected with technology, right? Then you have a department called quality assurance, isn't it? People try to pinpoint,
Yes.
look in what is there, what is missing, what can be added, what should be removed. So there is always a quality assurance. Like someone mentioned, we have the delivery and the service, which is mandatory, right? You just buy something that doesn't end there. The person who has sold you should give you the delivery or the service, isn't it? You go to KFC, you buy a token, you say you want a Jenga box, you bought something, and now that person doesn't deliver it. What sense does it make? Right? So definitely we need to have the delivery or the service. Then one of the most important areas, we have something called support or customer care, right? This is also important everywhere. We have the support or the customer care, which actually drives that industry. And this is becoming a part of every industry now. So everyone is trying to pick up this area of support or customer care. So we have all these different departments, isn't it? Clear with these now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone? Like we have hundreds and hundreds of industries and sectors. Fine, all these industries and sectors, for efficient operation, they have actually split them into various departments. And this is how they run their entire business. Fine. Most of the departments are interconnected to achieve the objective of that specific company or the industry. Fine. When we say industry, it's actually a raw thing. Like if you say hospitality, or I say hospitals, or I say hotels, or I say food and beverage, so that's industry for us. Fine. And when we say a company, now when I say food and beverage, KFC now becomes a company. McDonald's becomes a company, Taj Mahal becomes a company. So these are companies, and that part, the core functionality, what we identify, actually becomes the industry. So when we say sports and accessories, so that's an industry. When I say Reebok or Adidas or Puma, now this actually becomes a company. Now, when we say automobiles, now that's an industry. When I say Benz or Maruti or Hyundai or Honda, now this actually becomes a company. Fine. So departments are organized inside the companies so that they all work in the better way. Fine. Now, out of all these industries and departments, fine, one of the core most, everything is core without which no industry works. So we have picked three departments. One is marketing. You can see the name written there. The franchise, something is written there. Fine. And then you have the sales, people buying something or there, and you have the service, people using something from this specific store. So it has marketing, it has sales, and it has service. So these are three interrelated components of every industry. Fine. And these three, marketing, sales, and service, are those three departments which are actually, which basically interact with your customers. Fine. So these three departments are clubbed into a separate segment which is called as CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. Fine. So marketing, sales, and service are the three departments which have been chosen because these are the three which actually interact with the customer. Fine. So we now try to understand something more about these three departments that come under something called as CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. Customer Relationship Management. Fine. So am I clear with this three departments? Like it deals with marketing, it deals with sales, and it deals with service, because these are the three segments of an industry which actually deals primarily with the customers. So let's try to have a deep dive of what is this CRM. So what is the purpose of a CRM? What is the intention? Why is it separately categorized from all other departments, and why is it created as a separate segment? What is the core aim of this department? So the aim of this specific segment, the goal, the objective is to, what do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Connected to customer.
Okay, good. What else?
Maintaining good relationship with the customer.
Okay, anything else? Anything else?
To
Anything
serve the
else?
customers efficiently.
Okay, nice. What else? So the core
Expands the
objective, yeah, the core objective of CRM is, so what is the core purpose? To generate and retain customers. So if you see the three core departments there, what do you have? Marketing, sale, and service, right? So why these three? Because using these three, we can actually generate and retain customers. Fine. What does marketing do? What is the purpose of marketing?
To attract more customers.
So to build an awareness, right?
We have to brand our product, right? For giving branding to our product.
Good. So build an awareness. We actually call it as branding. So people have to know you have something with you. That is when they actually come. Fine. They are not yet customers. They are just people for you. From your industry standpoint of view, you're just people. Fine. Now, when does someone become a customer? When do you become a customer? Like understand, you're sitting and watching a cricket match or a soccer match on the television. Fine. You see a Coke ad coming up, then you see a Maruti ad coming up, then you see a a Hero bike coming up, then you see a nice you know Trivago ad coming up. What is all this from that company point of view? You have seen a Trivago ad, you have seen a Hero bike ad, you have seen a
Marketing.
car ad. Yeah, it's marketing. Are you a customer for them?
No.
No.
How many people at one point of time when when they're watching a
Kana
live,
Pratapabhai phone ji.
when they're
Pratapabhai
watching
phone ji.
when they're watching a movie, how many ads actually come up in that time? So many, right? That means, and how many people are actually watching? So all the people are watching, are they customers of that specific brand?
Not necessarily.
Isn't it? When will they become a customer then?
They
When they
purchase.
use that.
when they buy
Yeah, when there is something called sales, isn't it? Only when there is sales, that is when you get your customers. If there is no sales, you're no longer a customer. You go to lifestyle, nicely, you go to Forum Mall, you go around, you see lifestyle there, you see other stores there, the Reebok store, you see a Mochi store, you see a KFC there, you go around, you travel, you move around in that entire mall of 6 floors, 7 floors, 8 floors, you walk up and down, you see PVR from outside, and you come back. Now, are you a customer there? No, right? You're
No.
neither
no
a
sir.
customer of PVR, you're neither a customer of KFC, you're neither a customer of Lifestyle, you're neither a customer of Reebok, nor Samsung, nor Bose. You have seen all these there, but you become a customer only something takes place, that which is called as sales. Only when you have sales, that is when the business gets customers. That is when they treat you as a customer. Until then, you're not a customer for them. Fine. So that comes only through sales. And once you buy something from them, they would definitely try to retain you, isn't it? You bought a Samsung television. Now their next aim is to make sure you buy a Samsung refrigerator from them, or you buy a Samsung washing machine from them, or you buy a Samsung oven from them. So they always try to retain you and do a resale with you. Fine. So that is something which comes under, if the service is good, then definitely they will retain you, right? So that is something called retain. So CRM deals with these three things, because if these three stop happening, then all remaining part of the industry starts sinking by itself. So marketing, sales, and service are the core essential parts which actually drives a relationship with your customers. Fine. And that's why these three departments are segmented into a single category, and they have named it as a customer relationship management, which is CRM. Fine. Now understand, very important to understand the next topic, which makes you, start thinking in a very innovative way. Fine. This is very important for you now. You people might have traveled in train, right? A long distance, probably from Hyderabad to Vijayawada, Hyderabad to Tirupati, Hyderabad to Delhi, Mumbai, any of these places. Yes or no?
Yes.
You all have moved around, right? Good. Uh, did you reserve a ticket? You're going
Yes.
with your family,
Yeah.
let us assume. Fine. It's a long trip, summer vacation trip. Now no more summer vacations, all lockdown for us. But assume it was summer vacation for you. It's a long trip, family trip. So do you make your booking in advance?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. How did you make that booking? Where did you book your tickets? How did that happen?
Website.
Okay. You must have, yeah, you might have gone to irctc.co.in website, right? And you might have booked your train tickets. Assume 15-20 people are traveling and you all want to travel together. Then what would you do? Because your IRCTC doesn't allow group booking, then you go to a railway reservation counter and you book your ticket there. You tell them like, this is all group booking. We have 15-20 odd people, and you do it for us. Or other way around, when you were in your school, you went for excursion, right? So six person booking, they can't do your school. It is not possible, right? Your 100 people going in a specific train from, consider it's from Hyderabad to, there's a trip for Kerala. You want to see entire Kerala and come back. It's a 12 days trip for you. Fine. So you have to book tickets from Hyderabad to Kochi, then from there to X, Y, Z, different places. Fine. So through IRCTC, now booking 100 tickets doesn't make sense for you. So you go to the railway reservation counter and you do it there, isn't it? Fine. Same. Take another scenario. Fine. Uh, I have a bank account with ICICI, let us assume, and that ICICI branch is at Hyderabad. I have opened an account there. Now, from where can I withdraw money? I'm shopping
Any,
at Forum. I want to pay some
Through
money.
ATM, you can.
Through Paytm, I can withdraw. Good, that is one option. Another option, I have a debit card with me. Fine, I have a debit card with me. Can I swipe it in that mall?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. But my money is actually in Hyderabad. It is in a specific place. Is it accessible to this forum mall guy? Is it fine?
yes.
Fine.
Yes.
It is okay, right? Perfectly valid.
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere. So I can go to Delhi and do the same thing. I can go to Pune and do the same thing. I can go to Mumbai. I can go to Chennai. I can go to Bangalore, and I can still do the same thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. So now understand, 30 years back, banking. Was banking there 30 years back or not?
Yes.
It was there? Okay, nice. Was railways in operations 30 years back or not?
Yes.
Sure.
It
Yes.
was there, right? Right from British's
Yes.
time, we had banking and railways. It's not something new to us, right? Good. So before our country was formed, we had railways, we had banking. It was going on. Now, this banking which you're currently seeing, you have a bank account in an XYZ location and you're able to access money in any part of the globe. Was it possible 30 years back?
No.
No, sir.
Not possible? Okay.
No.
Now I am in Hyderabad. I have to book a train ticket from Hyderabad to Kochi, from Kochi to some other place, to Chennai. From Chennai, I would like to go to Bangalore. From Bengaluru, I want to go to another place, Mysore. 30 years back, was that booking possible directly sitting in Hyderabad? All this booking?
No.
No, sir.
It was not there, right? For an ordinary person, this was not possible. Probably for ministers and ambassadors, it might be possible. But for an ordinary person, a layman, this feature doesn't exist. It wasn't existential for them 30 years back. So, what made it possible? What is making it possible, which was not there 30 years back? 3 decades ago, people wouldn't have imagined this way, like you can do it something like this. My money is in the bank, I'm doing a transaction hundreds of kilometers away from that branch. I'm sitting at home, I'm booking tickets to travel across the globe. Railways was just an example, but I'm planning to move around any part of the world. I'm booking my hotel there. From there, I'm also booking a cab, but I'm still sitting at home. I'm booking a hotel at London. I'm booking a cab which takes me from that hotel where I'm staying to the seminar hall where my seminar is going to be conducted. And I'm booking a return ticket from London to Hyderabad, sitting at my home. Fine. This is all happening today. Why wasn't this possible 30 years back? What was the difference?
Technology implemented.
Communication.
Because one crucial development, which is the information technology, or you can call it as communication. So a lot of things became better, and that is why this is all possible, isn't it? That is why we are able to do all these things. Fine. So understand, information technology is not a independent industry. It is connected with all these industries that which we have discussed earlier. All these hundreds of industries. All these hundreds of industries, they're actually getting driven through technology because they all have a department called technology, right? So information technology is something which is making it possible for them to actually operate at a global level. And it is making their business more easy. It makes the global village fine. So everyone is now able to do whatever they want to do in any part of the world, and that is pretty much monitored, that is legal according to the law. Fine. So you had railways and you had booking 30 years ago also, but today it's actually done in a better way. Fine. Same way, banking was there 3 decades ago also. Still, people used to make transactions. Transaction is not something new to people. People are still making transactions today. People made transactions, 30 years ago, but now they're able to do it in a better way. So the reason for that is technology. So the reason for that is technology. Similarly, 30 years ago, also there was CRM. CRM is not something new which has come up. Even 30 years back, if you speak to the business people, they are definitely concerned about their customers. They want to build their customers and they want to retain their customers. It was there 30 years ago also, it was there, but it was not that better as we do it today, isn't it? So CRM was there even 30 years ago. It is even there today, but today it's definitely done in a better way. Definitely 30 years down the line, it will be done in a much better way. So it's always, it's an incremental process which goes on. Fine. So CRM was there 30 years ago. CRM is there today. It's operating in a better way. CRM will always remain in the future also, and it will always be done in a better way. Fine. So to do it in a better way, this CRM has also adopted to use something called technology. CRM has also adopted technology. That is why it has become much better today, and it is becoming more and more essential for people to build relationship with their customers and to keep their business growing on day-to-day basis. That is what every business expects to do. They want to grow day by day. Fine. So understand, CRM is not something which has come up new today or 5 years or 10 years ago. Right from the day when they had industries evolution, that is when they had this CRM. Even if you take into the ancient days where business was there, definitely there was a way of dealing with customers. There was a way to build customers. There was a way to retain customers. If you watch your old movies, the patterns are still there, or you read the old books, you still see the patterns existing there. But the modality might be different, but still the concept was existing. Fine. Now the same way CRM, gives a better way of dealing with things. Fine. Fine. So this CRM has now, evolved into a technology in the form of applications. Fine. So let's put my screen up. Fine. So manual versus, one second. Yeah. My screen, my GoToMeeting is interrupting my screen. Just a second. Okay. So now you have the manual versus the technology or the software, right? So 30 years ago, it was all manual. Now it is all driven through software. Whether you take your banking, your hospitals, your transportations, your payment mechanism today, what you do, how do you recharge your mobile phone? How do you recharge your DTH? How do you recharge your Netflix and all today? Fine, you don't go
Online.
somewhere, do it, right? Just with a finger touch, you get this done. So this is all because of the softwares and the technology that which we find. So there are, so many companies which work on this technology trend where they have CRMs. Fine. So CRMs, Microsoft has, its own CRM. Microsoft has its own CRM. Oracle has its own CRM. There are different vendors, who manufacture these CRMs because it's a technology driven. Fine. So there can be vendors who can actually create it. So Microsoft has created its CRM. Oracle has created its CRM. SAP has built its CRM. But mostly these are all on-premise. These are all on-premise applications, fine, wherein you install everything and you start doing it. But on-premise has now moved on into something called as cloud computing, right? So in cloud computing, we have one of the CRM vendors, which is mostly leading in India, whom we call it as the Zoho CRM. You might have seen a couple of ads in the television, couple of billboards on the roads near the airports and all. So Zoho is one CRM which is pretty much evolving in India, where small companies will make use of this Zoho CRM. But the world's most leading CRM vendor fine, whom we have is Salesforce. Salesforce is the world's leading CRM vendor. It's the number one vendor. Fine, and the proof for that is something called as the Gartner. Gartner is a third-party agency. You need to pretty much understand this Gartner concept. I don't know how many are actually familiar. Are you familiar with this Gartner concept? Yeah, anyone?
Which gave Salesforce is the number one company.
Okay, but what does Gartner do? Any idea, anyone?
Sir, what
In
is the question?
America,
Okay. Yeah, Monica, go ahead. See, understand, in our class, there is nothing called correct, there is nothing called wrong. You speak, you will get refined. Absolutely nothing wrong. Yeah, Venkatesh, any idea what Gartner is? Kishore?
Sir, sorry, what was your question?
Very good. So what is Gartner?
Actually, it's like agency something so, which gave Salesforce as a number one company.
Okay, good. You're watching movie also and you're listening to the class also. You're able to manage both. That is why probably you have 2 years. One for entertainment, one for career. Good. Sravya, any idea what Gartner is all about? Bhavani, any
like
idea?
it is a company in USA.
Okay. So wherever it is, what
Something
will they do?
like if we create any app or something, like it will check one copy we should submit to that company so that it can tell whether it is okay, it is having so many applications you can use it, like that it will tell.
Nice. Good. Nitish, any idea?
It's probably a statistical that the research company that decides like what is doing like how many, probably it takes statistics from this and to check how many people are using all those statistics, and it ranks ranks
Okay.
companies based on something. Okay, all the
Good.
statistics.
Good. Good. Something like, if you are familiar, I don't know, they are not using this term now, but when we were, I can't say we, I can't include you people in my age group, but when we were kids, when something came up into the market, an ad used to come, right? Like a bulb used to come, and towards the end of the ad, a symbol used to come up along with that company logo, something called ISI. Fine, this ISI comes up. There is
Yes.
which is create ad of Mixi, and towards the end of the ad, when the company brand logo or the name comes up, ISI mark comes up. So what does this ISI mark imply?
Standard.
Standards.
Good. So it means the process which it has used actually to create the specific product, that process is good. That's a quality process, and anything which comes out of that quality process is going to be a quality product. So that is the significance of that ISI. Fine. Similarly, Gartner also reads into these software products and services what kind of process is actually used in order to evolve that specific product, and what requirements is it actually going to fulfill in the market. This is the kind of study which they actually do. Fine. And by that, they give rating to the products, the way they actually serve the market, how they can fulfill the requirements of the end users, how much close are they actually, to the adaptability of people requirements or the industry requirements, whatever it is, whichever way it is. Fine. So this is something which comes up with Gartner. Fine. As like few of you all have mentioned, whenever any company comes up with a product, they have a process before building that product. What they have actually done, what has led to the evolution of this product, what is the niche, what is the USPs, what are all the special features available in this product, what made them do all this. So there's a documentation created for all this, and this is given to Gartner. Gartner goes through this, then the product and the market requirement, and then says, this specific company, this is what they do. Fine. And based on their, their financial outcome, based on their service outcomes, it ranks them where do they actually stand on several other parameters also. Fine. And they created something called as this magic quadrant, which you can see on the screen now. So you have leaders, you have challengers, you have niche players, and you have visionaries. Visionaries are those who are, looking forward to come into the market and evolve with some new things, innovative things. Challengers are those who have good potential and are looking to expand their market. Niche are those, which are not found with everyone. They are specific for only certain kind of industries or certain specific kind of requirements. They are not, adaptable and usable for everyone. That is something called as niche. And leaders are those who are actually serving and leading in the market. Fine. And now if you look into this Gartner's magic quadrant, you see Salesforce is in the leader position, and it is in the topmost position of the leaders. So this is how, Salesforce has proved itself that it is one of the most evolving technology in the market when it comes to the CRM aspect. Fine. And this gives you one more insight also, though Gartner doesn't say it, but from a HR point of view, you can actually think. Fine. Now let us assume Reebok would like to go up and automate their entire business. Fine, globally. Let's assume they are in that stage, evolving stage. Fine. And Reebok now requires a CRM. Reebok is specialized into what? What is Reebok specialized into?
Foods.
Sports and accessories.
Manufacturing goods.
Related accessories you have. Do you think they know which database is good, which markup language is used where, which programming language has got which functionalities? Do you think the owner knows all these things?
No way.
No.
He can't even think of these things, right? He can't think. Fine. It's something different for him and difficult for him also. Then being an owner is not for his personal use. For his personal use, he can explore anything, whatever he wants. But he's trying to run a business globally. Now, the owner of Reebok would go to a reliable agency and ask him, like, uh, which technology or which technologies do you think will actually help me, you know, in getting into IT, in automating my entire business globally? And this is my entire, way of running my business. So he gives a complete business case study, and Gartner reads it, and Gartner recommends, for CRM, this is what probably you could use. For HR, this is what you can use. For finance, this is what you can use. And you can integrate all these applications this way. And they give them a blueprint of, what can actually be done. And this is not actually given to the owner, but the, technology department of that Reebok. Fine, it's more authenticated when they take it from Gartner. It's a good insight what they get. And now Reebok says, see, this is our entire business, which we are doing globally. And now we want IT solution for this implemented across. For finance, this specific technology, for HR, this technology, and for CRM, we are going to implement it on Salesforce. And now they invite quotes from different bids from different companies. So now TCS, Accenture, Capgemini, uh, Wipro, Infosys, all these people, because they have the technical expertise in these areas, now they project their capabilities, they give their manpower capability, they give their historical capability, they give their current financial capabilities, their understanding of the global business and how they would implement this service for them, right? And then Reebok chooses one amongst these vendors and gives them the project. So this is what is actually meant by service-based companies in IT. Capgemini, Accenture, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, All these companies, basically, this is how they get into the business. Fine. And now, suppose, let us assume, it's just an assumption, nothing to do with realities, it's just an assumption. Now let us assume Reebok has given its project to TCS. Now, do you think TCS is already having those 50, 60 odd people already sitting on the bench and waiting for this Reebok project to come? No, right?
No.
The resources which are already there in TCS are working with the numerous projects which they have. Fine. And each one is busy with their own projects and activities. So now TCS would go for hiring of new resources. So now there is an opening in TCS for Salesforce. You require an architect, you require developers, you require consultants, you require business analysts. So now there is a huge vacancy created in TCS for resources. This is only of one client I'm speaking. There are hundreds of clients and hundreds of projects around. So this way, every company tries to, bid their projects, try to get the services from various IT companies depending upon their potentials, depending upon the way their business policies are framed. So now, why did Reebok actually go with Salesforce? Because they got a report from Gartner. This is why they've gone with TCS. Now TCS is going to implement on Salesforce. Now TCS requires manpower, right? So now there's a huge opening for you guys. So any technology which is generally in the leader segment of your Gartner will have, good job opportunities always, because these are the technologies which are implemented by clients. And for a client to implement, they always require a development company. So development company would go with the choices, or there's a mutual understanding of the technology between them. So this is where you get a job in a technology. If someone says there are good jobs, how is it actually creating? Gartner Analytics gives you an actual study. Okay, fine, there are openings in this technology. So if I master this technology, I would be having job opportunities in the market. So this is an indirect reference what we are doing. It's not direct, like Gartner doesn't say you will get jobs on Salesforce or jobs in Microsoft or Oracle. Fine, Gartner doesn't tell that, but this is our understanding. When a leading technology is being promoted by Gartner, definitely there would be job opportunities in those technologies. Fine. So this is how it basically runs for us. Fine. So now we are clear with there is something called Salesforce, fine, which offers a CRM. It offers a CRM. This can be used by various clients, like you have Philips, you have Reebok, you might have KFC, you might have Paytm, whoever it is, they make use of this CRM or the platform, whichever way it is, to start building their applications. Fine. And we said CRM means marketing, sales, and service. And we are saying Salesforce offers a CRM. So what is the CRM which it is offering? The CRM is actually an application. It is an application which Salesforce is actually offering to these companies. And this application would be having marketing functionalities. Fine. It would be having the sales functionalities, and it would be having the service functionalities. So these are the functionalities which you basically have and which is actually tracked with those softwares. Understand, Salesforce CRM will not do marketing. It will not do sales. It will not do service, but it will track those functionalities. It will define the process which has to be followed in the organization. It says in marketing A, B, C, D, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Are you doing your marketing this way? Who is responsible for which step? What is the outcome of each step? This is tracked in the marketing application. Same way when it comes to sales, CRM will not sell, but every industry, every company has a sales process, how the sales has to be driven, how the A to Z of every sale has to be tracked. So this tracking mechanism is done with the Salesforce CRM. Similarly, how would you give a service? The service is given as an entire process. So who works in which part of the process? Who is responsible for which part? Is it being done thoroughly or not? All this is monitored with the Salesforce CRM. So you implement your processes in that application and you monitor through that application and you make sure your business is running according to the processes which are defined at the organization level. It doesn't work according to the moods and choices of your executives or managers or presidents. It actually works according to the procedures or the processes which are defined at the organization level. This is what a Salesforce CRM application actually does. Fine. Now to understand, is it clear so far or anything needs to be clarified? Please let me know.
Fine.
Yeah, Manjunath, is it clear?
Yes.
Sham, is it clear?
It's clear.
Satish, Santoshish, Sriram, Mohan, Aruna, you're able to
Yes, sir.
follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Bhavani, is
Yes, sir.
good, good. Because I can't see you, right? If it is a classroom session, I can see and identify by looking into your eyes, but here I can't see anything apart from myself. So just be responsive so that to understand anything. If you don't understand, please ask the questions. There is nothing like a pre-assumption. You should at least know this. There is nothing called at least. It's something like either we know or we don't know. If we don't know, we try to know it. That's all. Fine. So a CRM application which is given by Salesforce is used to track the entire business process. It is used to track the entire sales process, the service process which is being done globally with respect to that specific organization. So CRM helps that way. Now let us check the realities of it. What is there for us to do? Because if you go back to the table that which we have drawn here, fine, a just glimpse, an outline. We said config, development, testing, admin, enterprise, integration, CRM. Now CRM application is already provided by Salesforce. Now what is there to do in config? What is there to do in development? What is there to test? What is there to do in admin? Try to understand this. Now let us take a couple of clients, what we have just mentioned above. Fine. Let us take KFC. Fine. Does KFC involve in marketing? Does KFC do marketing? Does it involve in marketing? Yes, right?
Yes.
KFC does marketing at its own level.
Yes.
Uh, does Reebok also do marketing?
Yes.
They
Yes,
do.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, does Philips also do marketing?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Does Paytm also do marketing?
Yes.
Out of these four, who do you think is doing the maximum marketing? Someone who watches television knows it better.
KFC.
Heavy marketing.
Okay.
I think Paytm does
Paytm.
heavy
Paytm.
marketing. All matches which takes place in India are all sponsored by Paytm.
Yes.
Fine. And each cricket match involves millions of people. So Paytm does the maximum marketing. Everyone does it. Depending upon the scale of the business, they actually do it. Fine. Good. Everyone does their own marketing. Now, the way in which sales is done. Fine. Does KFC require sales?
Yes.
Does
Everyone.
Reebok require sales? Everyone requires, right?
Something.
Yeah. Now let us check out the way sales is done in Reebok. You go to a Reebok store, fine. You try out some shoes there. Assume size is about 8 or 9. You want to buy some jogging shoes, some joggers. So you say 8 or 9 size. You're not sure whether it's 8 or 9. Then what do you do?
Trial.
We'll
Right.
ask the person to show.
Yeah, Kishore, what do we do?
We'll ask the person to show the number of 8 and 9
No, what will he show you?
shoes. The number.
Right? Just by seeing 8 and 9 shoes, can you make out like which gives you a comfort fit?
Will you try?
No, we need to try it.
You need to try it, right? So they have some sample shoes or a sample of that specific model, or they give you a socks for that matter. You don't, damage that specific shoe. So you wear the socks and you wear the shoe and you check out now whether 8 you're comfortable or 9 gives you that comfort. Yes or no?
Yes.
Fine. Let us assume 9 gives you that comfort. So you'll go with 9, you buy it, isn't it? Your intention was to buy and you bought it. Fine. Now, you went to KFC. You have popcorn chicken there, you have wings, and you have some hot, hot, fiery, spicy something you have. And you have a zinger now. Which one would be good today? Will you ask him, give me one piece of popcorn, one piece of wing, one, crispy leg fry. I will try these 3. Which one is good? I'll buy that. Is it possible?
No.
No.
Why not? Why not? You have done it in Reebok. You wore the shoes, you checked which one is good, which one suits you, which one you're comfortable. So now you taste fire and smoky chicken, you check some like crispy leg, you check popcorn chicken, you check wings, have one piece each. Which one is good? You go with that.
Because these are consumed and that's not consumed.
You don't consume that shoe. After buying the shoe, give him back. Will he take it?
No, in the sense you try. If you don't, it's fine. But whereas if eatables are not like that.
Okay, then you go to an ice cream parlor. Fine. Go to Naturals. He has so many varieties, and he puts those toothpicks there, or those sticks to eat your taste your ice cream. Plastic spoons gives there. Baskin Robbins also you go. That is also pretty much suitable. So when you say, I want to taste butterscotch, I want to check caramel, how is it with you? I want to check, German chocolate, how does it taste with you? It gives you a taste of it. Even that's consumable.
It depends upon type of business that we are doing.
It is not the type of business, it is the policy of the business which runs.
Oh.
Right? KFC doesn't give that policy of, try and buy. KFC tells buy and try. But if you go to Baskin Robbins, they say try and buy. That's their policy. There are 20, 50, 100 flavors of ice cream. You taste which one you're fine with, you buy that. You don't buy also, they're happy. Doesn't matter. Taste all ice creams and come on. Doesn't matter. Right, your dinner is done. Your dessert after dinner is done. The business policy is different. So the way, now similarly, you want to buy a bike or you want to buy a car, you go to a Honda showroom or a Hyundai showroom, you go to a Maruti showroom, you go to a Mahindra showroom. Can you ask for a test drive of car? Is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How many kilometers you can go? I want to go to
Less than 5.
It's very short distance. Very short.
Just near about that showroom, wherever they have. You can take a small drive, a U-turn or a round circle, and you come back to the same place, isn't it? Now tell Reebok guy also, I'll try these shoes once, I'll go out for 1-2 kilometers and I'll come back. Doesn't work, isn't it?
It will not.
So the sales policy of KFC, Reebok, and Hyundai are not completely different. Same way. Now suppose you bought a Hyundai car, fine. After 50 days or 60 days, after 5,000 or 10,000 kilometers of drive, can you go back for a service? Is it possible?
Service, yes.
Yes. And they say, first 3 services are free. Do they?
Free, yeah, somewhat.
isn't it? So they invite. Now you use a Reebok shoe for about 1 month, 2 months. Now go back there and ask them, wash it and give me. Do they?
Nope.
No.
Okay, then you go to KFC. You eat today, tomorrow morning you go them and ask, do you have washing facility with you? Will they? Definitely not, right? So the service model again of KFC, Reebok, Hyundai are completely different. But if you check, every KFC store has a washroom. So on the spot, instantly you can use it. We'll not do it for you. You do it for yourself. It's service. Reebok doesn't care. Once sale is over, it's over. There is no service model in Reebok. But when it comes to Hyundai, it's not one time price for 3 months, 6 months, and even beyond that also have a service model with them. Fine. So the way the policies are framed for each industry is completely different. I've just chosen these KFC, Reebok, and Hyundai as examples. Practically might not be the way, but the way you see also it's completely different, isn't it? It's all different. The way the marketing is done, the way their sales is done, the way their service is done is completely different. Can I buy a Hyundai car in EMIs? Is it possible?
Yes.
Can I buy a Zinger box in EMI?
No.
Not possible, right? So again, the sales model is completely different, isn't it? So how do you think it is possible for Salesforce to create one CRM application that works across all industries? There's a pharma industry, there's a government, there's entertainment, there's education, there's manufacturing, there is real estate, there's communication, automobiles, electronics, technology, so many different industries. How do you think Salesforce can give one single application that suits all these different industries? Do you think it is practically possible? It is not possible, right? Everyone does it in a different way. And basically, if you look into something called Philips, you look into the bulbs of Philips, fine. You see a television ad of Philips bulbs. How does it work? The tube lights, the LED lights, what they have. You go to a store, there is no demo also at least. There's a packed piece. You buy it or you not. It's up to you. That's it. And they give you a warranty on it. And if something goes wrong during this warranty period, it is replaced for you, isn't it? They replace it completely. There's a new piece given to you altogether. Fine. So this way, the sales, the pattern of each industry is completely different. Fine. You can't go to a Hyundai showroom and say something got spoiled. Now you give me a new car. They won't. They'll replace that part and they give you. But it's completely different when it comes to Philips. So the policies, each industry, the way they do, the companies are all completely different. And even if you take one single industry, again, from company to company, things might vary. You can't say, this is a fixed model that works across everyone has to do it this way. Might not happen. So how do you think one single application will fit all these industries and all these companies in, again, different parts of the world? It's completely different. The market which works in US is completely different from the way the market works in India. Fine, and it's completely different the way the model business works in Middle East, and it's completely different how it actually works in Japan. The markets are completely different. The way they operate is completely different. So how can one single application serve everyone? It is a ruled out question. The CRM which is offered by Salesforce is not a perfect match or a perfect fit for all industries and all companies. Fine. So the CRM which is given by Salesforce is like a skeleton model. Fine. The CRM that which is given by Salesforce is a skeleton model. And then on top of this skeleton, now the flesh and skin has to be built according to that functionality. And a very, a very novice way of understanding, a blunt way of understanding, right? How many know there is something called Raymonds? Do you know something called Raymonds?
Yeah.
Brand.
Suits.
Yeah, it's a brand for
Complete
what?
man.
Suits.
Clothing.
Clothing,
Menswear.
right? Yeah, you
Clothing
have something called, you have something called Opium. You have something called, Dig Jam.
Yes.
You have something called Vimal. What do all these people do?
Textile.
They, yeah, textile. Good. That's also one type of industry, right?
Yes.
I was expecting one kind of industry which will come from our, so many women are there in our group. They didn't respond. They didn't say there is something called cosmetic industry.
Biba. Biba.
Yeah, good, good, good. Now you come up nice. Good. So now understand what we were trying to discuss. Fine. So when you take these fabric companies, textile companies, fine. Let me say, I purchased 2.5 meters of a shirt piece from Vimal or Digjam or Raymond's, whatever it is. Now, these 2.5 meters of cloth will fit whom?
Me. I mean you, the purchaser.
How come?
Or maybe for the person for whom you are buying.
At 2.5 meters, can I directly, is it wearable directly?
No.
No, right?
No
Best
way.
case, it will serve.
You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get
Best, yeah, it will
Still,
serve as a lungi. That's all. It will not
that's all.
serve as a shirt. It will serve as a lungi, isn't it? Then what
Yes.
needs to come?
Stitch it
Okay. Stitched according to what?
to the person's size, one who wears it.
Okay. So it has to be tailored, isn't it?
Yes.
Tailored according to what? Tailor's measurements?
The persons who wears
These
it.
are the customer's requirements.
Consumer. So the cloth is tailored according to what? According to the
It's 21 hours.
measurements, isn't it? Whose measurements? Measurements of the consumer. Same way. This is your Salesforce CRM. Now you do your config part, your dev part. According to what? Isn't it? Point clear now?
Yes.
So this is where we have jobs. The Salesforce CRM which is offered doesn't fit perfectly into any industry or any company. This has to be tailored. So who is going to do this tailoring job? The development company is going to do, and we as an employees of that development company will actually do it. Fine. So this is the app. Because it's a cloud-based app, we call it as SaaS. Now it has to be tailored. Tailored where? Tailored on the PaaS.
Platform.
The SaaS and PaaS both are offered by Salesforce. And then make your application ready for the end users. Clear? So all the companies globally are actually giving you an opportunity to work with them. This is why IT has the maximum jobs, because IT is one industry which is connected with every industry. And individually, IT for itself doesn't do anything. It is for all other industries what IT does. So that is why we have the maximum job potentials in IT. That is why you no longer see unemployment problems. Until 95, 96, our country faced the unemployment problem. Register yourself in the employment exchange to get a job, and all these things were there only until 95, 96. After that, when software started evolving, when IT started evolving, and they came to understand every department can use this IT and they can go global and can make lots of business. That is where since then we don't have the problems of jobs. We only have choices to work. Are you working with this company or that company? That is how the world has become for us. Good, nice to the evolution, good about the evolution. But we need to understand what is happening and where do we fit in this entire game. So is this part clear, everyone? What we are actually going to do?
Yes.
Salesforce gives the CRM, that's a skeleton system. We are going to add the flesh and skin to that skeleton system and make it operational for a specific client. But for that, first we need to understand the skeleton system, right? So first we need to understand the CRM part. So tomorrow onwards, we'll take a dive into this Salesforce CRM. How is it structured? How is it organized? What is there? What happens where? Why do we need it? All that we shall be discussing tomorrow. Fine. So was this session clear? If you have any doubts, something which is not clear, please let me know.
Good enough. Thank you.
Good enough. Thanks, Sham. Thanks a lot. Good. Hope it's the same with everyone.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everyone here. Happy.
Yes, sir.
Try to understand all the industries in the world make use of an application called CRM. There are multiple vendors who give the CRM, out of which Salesforce is one who gives this CRM. Fine. And it is the widely dominant CRM in this world. This CRM doesn't fit into the perfect match or a perfect fit for any of the clients. This has to be tailored. This tailoring is actually done on the platform of Salesforce, which is force.com earlier, or you call it as a lightning platform now, and we do it. So before tailoring something, before fiddling with something, first we should know what is existing. Whatever is not existing, you try to add. Whatever is existing, why do you want to break it? So first let us see what is existing. Then later we will see what needs to be added and how is that adding part done. Fine. So the session would go around for about next 5 to 6 days. Weekends I don't. So it's 5 to 6 sessions it takes for you to understand the CRM. It's very easy, only when you start comparing with what's happening in the real world. Because this is not something bookish. This is not something, where Babur came to India, Babur son, Humayun son, Akbar son, Jahangir son, Shah Jahan son, Aurangzeb. Remember from which year to which year. We have got nothing to do with all those things here. That is all Bhatti model. There is no Bhatti model here. Try to understand how it is happening in the real world. Is your software mapping to the things which are existing in the real world? Is it mapping the behavior of the real world? This is how you need to think now. Fine. The moment you started learning the platform, this is how you should start thinking. What is happening in the real world, and is this behavior, am I able to map it into my software? What is that component to which this particular behavior can be mapped? Where is this mapping taking place? This is how you go from a very gross level to a finest granular level. You keep going down and you keep understanding. This is how you see the world as a developer. This is what I want you people to do. This is how you should start doing it. Fine. So this is very essential. Learning doesn't come from the book, learning doesn't come from the class. It is how you perceive the world outside and how you reciprocate to it, how you digest it, how you interpret it. This is where your learning actually comes from. So keep this in mind. As long as you know you're actually learning Salesforce, I want you to observe the behavior in the real world, the business behavior, not your parents or your husband or your wife is shouting at you, not those behaviors. The business behaviorals which are taking place, and how do you map it onto your platform? Where does it actually fit in? Which component of your platform maps to which behaviors outside? So this is an urge from my end. You'll have to do it to become a good programmer. If you want a bright career, this is how you'll have to do it. Fine. Okay, then. Thanks for listening. So let us continue tomorrow again, same 7:30 p.m. Fine. Thank you all. Good night for a few and good night. Good morning.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Manas, can you stop the recording?
Just a second, sir. I'll stop.